Hello YouTube, Sharps 1874 here, and today I want to talk about my my not everyday rifle, but my Sharps 1874. So I don't take this bad boy out very often, but when I do, it's always kind of fun. I have been using the buckhorn sight, which is here, which I've now taken off, because I wanted to use the peep sight like Tom Selleck did in Quigley. But the thing you got to know about Quigley is when he did his long shot, that was an aluminum rifle. That was not one like this. This is almost 15 pounds. I mean, it's heavy, and you just don't sit out and shoot out 1,100 yards in a can with it. But anyway, I wanted to see how close my sights were. So I took this out and started playing around with it. This was 3 weeks ago. Now, is that pathetic shooting or what? Just absolutely pathetic. This was only maybe at, I can't remember, maybe 50 yards, but you don't get much worse than that. I started thinking, nah, something is not right. So 2 weeks ago, I went out, and I got a group like that. So, well, what's the difference? And that's the reason for this video, not to exonerate myself from being a poor shot, but to explain the difference between one day and the next. So the first day, I was using this great big old load. So this is a 535 grain bullet. And I was also using the double set trigger. Now, Quigley makes it look really easy, but this particular rifle, the double set trigger, is very sensitive, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that here in just a bit. The other difference is when I made this shot and this shot, this was yesterday. This when I went out yesterday, I also I forgot to take the camera out when I made these shots, but yesterday at 100 yards I did this, and I was using, instead of 535 grains, I was using 325 grains, this guy right there. So that sits like that. Made all the difference in the world. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to reset up the camera. I'm going to show you a little bit of detail about the front sight of my Sharps, and then we'll take a look at the double set trigger and show you why I was having so much trouble with it. And then I've got some range footage from yesterday, where I was shooting first the paper target, then I went for some gongs, and then I tried to hit some bowling pins. But when I was doing the gongs and the bowling pins, I went back to the lead bullet, and I'm going to have to do a little bit more experimenting, because I'm guessing that this has a lot more drop than what this lighter weight bullet does, and so I'm going to have to see where I need to hold or how I have to adjust my my peep sight to cover that. So let me readjust the camera, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's the front sight. And there's a little screw right here with a piece of spring steel and a piece of lead or something. If you take this and move that out of the way, you can lift out the front aperture, And the aperture that I was using was this guy. So you look through the peep sight at this. C-Sharps that manufactured this rifle gives you a number of choices. Of front apertures. You can drop any one of these into that spot and you can use that for your front sight. Anyway, that's the one that I picked, and I really like that. Okay, so now let's talk about the double set trigger. Let me reset up the camera, and we'll show you that. Okay, here is the double set trigger. The back one is the firing trigger, and this is the set trigger. What I'm going to do is put in a 4570 snap cap. So it's loaded with a snap cap right now. And if you pull this back, come around here, so, and you pull the whoops, this is the set trigger. Take that back. So you have, so this is the set trigger. I made a mistake. Okay, there was just a click, and then so, you can see I barely touched it. Let's do that again. Okay, there's half cock, full cock. I'll click. I'll fire. Pull the set trigger. I'm just going to go in and now there is an adjustment screw here, but you can adjust that out so it's not quite as sensitive. But when they first had it firing, I was using the double set trigger, and as soon as I'd get my finger on there, boom, and I'm attributing that to my horrible groups on the first one. So, yeah, what can I say? It is one really, really sensitive trigger. So, there's the screw. Let's back that out. So with it all the way up here, it's about a 3-pound trigger pull. If we back that out, put it back in, cock it. Now when you push it, there's just a little bit of travel, but as soon as you get to that point, it immediately fires. I'm going to put that where it was today because I like it all the way in, and when it's all the way in, that should be a 3-pound trigger pull. Now in this case, I would just use the front trigger to do all the firing, and that's so much nicer. So much nicer. It is a little stiff, but it's right around a 3-pound trigger pull. Okay, here we go.
Did you see a white SUV and a F-150 come up here?
I think they just went through.
Did they? Okay, thank you.
All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm Sharp's 1874, and I thought you might like to know.